speaking of having shows on the
Having too
road,
much fun.
Ismail saw a Hellcat Chrysler Pacifica minivan. He knows that my wife has a Chrysler Pacifica minivan. How do you know that? I must have mentioned that in
You've
something.
told us.
Because you weren't
Yeah,
in
there
it.
you go. I can't imagine having a Hellcat engine in there, but okay, very good. Welcome everyone to our what is this again? Our daily success call. Fire up, power up, something up. I am here with all of you, and you guys are here with me. So good to see you. I see Fred, and how you doing, Fred? Always a pleasure. We got Jan here, and Ann, Missy, Ishmael's here, Kristen, of course, Susan, who's stealing the show, Mark, who's got parrots in his midst. Maggie's driving. Good to see you, Sarah, Jill, Laura's here. Laura, Michael. We got, who else can we fit on this one screen here? Darla, Liz, Susan, Catherine, Jayton. Of course, Jayton's here. Nancy's here. Pauline, Gabe. Good to see you, brother. Nosy, looking forward to seeing you again on a business session. Cecilia's here. And Anissa. Always a pleasure to see Anissa on the beach, right there in her tranquil habitat. That is awesome stuff. And of course, I am John. And we've got more people than we can fit on the screen because this is getting big, my friends. We are having quite a movement here. Let me mute the microphones. But what we were talking about just before we went live was the idea of two things: actually getting our technology working for us instead of against us. That's always a good thing. And doing some money magic. I want to talk with you about the magic of money, because I think Susan could use a magical experience. And then we started relating that to children going to Disney World and all that kind of stuff. But truly, our business could occur that way to us to a degree. I'm not saying that you're a child walking around in a world of wonder and princesses and mystical creatures and stuff. Although, are we not also on an adventure? Sure, we are. We're on an adventure. I just got off of a call with my mastermind group where we were talking about. In fact, the guy who was hosting today is the author of the book. Everything I learned about success, I learned from Star Trek. He's a very big Star Trek aficionado, and we got to talking a bit about change in life and dealing with change, avoiding change, embracing change, and all this kind of things that a lot of people. What do you think? Would most people embrace change or try to avoid it?
Most people fear change.
Yeah, right. So typically we want things to work and then not change. I can tell you right now, like you guys, whenever you see me in my office, it's exactly the same. I'll mute the lines there. It's exactly the same office. Like everything's exactly in its place. I like to know where my tools are. I don't want to have to look for, where's the pen or where's the, the computer or anything like that. Where's my books, right? So that's good. Having stability, having systems. So now, because truly a lot of people spend like half their life just looking for stuff, right? I don't like doing that, right? I like efficiency. So that's fine. And yet, if we're in action, if we're moving in a direction of a goal and we're on some path that we haven't been on before, there's going to be opportunities to optimize that. We don't already know the entirety of all the drama and everything that leads up to us, reaching our goals or whatever. So we're going to have to get a little bit flexible on that. But we can either embrace that as an adventure, boldly go where no one has gone before. We were doing like Star Trek quotes, right? So yeah, you can go be Captain Kirk and Spock and Uhura and all these people, and you can go on this adventure and boldly go where you haven't gone before. Or we could sit there in a state of trying to stop the inevitable. What is the inevitable? Change. All of us are here purportedly, right? Because we're looking for change. We're looking for increase. If what you were doing up to this point was 100% satisfactory and you just, in your bliss and rolling around in piles of money and you fulfilled every purpose you have in your life, well, you wouldn't have signed up, right? So you've embraced change to a degree. Okay. At the outset, right? You had this impulse of thought, hey, maybe I can. And so you reached. And then you reached for what? Well, we don't know all the rest of the story, right? We're going to have to go ahead and write that next chapter of the book now. The point is, who's writing it? Hopefully you, but a lot of times, not you. A lot of times, if I look at how a lot of people confront opportunities, it's with one foot on the brakes. I think we talked about this maybe yesterday or the day before. So we want to accelerate, but at the same time, we got one foot on the brakes. Intention versus counter intention. This is the anatomy of your problems and you going slow in life up to this point is, yes, I want this. This sounds great, but, and we got a lot of big buts around here, right? But, and so what does that mean? Slower, right? That's not flow. This is not flow. Okay. This is self-induced slowness. And if we look at every problem we've had and just assess, the anatomy of it itself, it is that we have an intention and we also have a counter intention. We've got an idea of what we want, and then we've got all the reasons why we can't have it. The circumstances, the stops, the things that in some cases may appear to be out of our control. And yet, if we're looking to change things, we're also looking to change, the conditions with which we work. So we're actually going to have to get, and now we're getting into a bit of a higher philosophical topic here. We're going to have to get, as was it Kelly asking yesterday, a bit more causative. Yes, we're going to have to assign cause to ourselves and realize that we are actually the ones steering the car or the ship or whatever metaphor you like. And we're going to have to become bigger than our circumstances. One of those circumstances is money, having or not having in present time of certain amounts of money. Yes, these dollars and pounds and symbols, ink on paper or data on a computer screen, which seems to have so much power over our lives. If you just look at that, just how I vocalized that would indicate that I think Michael was yesterday corroborating with us a bit that yeah, in fact, most people, the money's the master, they're the servant, right? We got to get that relationship straight. Okay, so you're the master, money's the servant. Okay, in fact, you're cause over money. Okay, so money is a tool for you to use, and it's good and right for you to do so. You can do a whole lot more good in your life and in the lives of others with more money. And if money just makes you more of what you already are, well, hopefully you believe in yourself enough to be responsible with more money. So that means that if you're a generous and contributing kind of a person and you do good things in the world, well, here, have some more money, go do more good things. That means if you're, a selfish, rotten person, you'll be more of a selfish, rotten person with this money. So I guess you can have to, kind of use your own barometer on your own ethics, right? And hopefully you have good ethics. You can be the judge of that. That's a personal thing. But to be stopped by something which you may have bought into the idea that is outside of your control, that's a very limiting thing. That's this. Okay. So when Susan said, working money magic, okay, well, we can call it magic, but all of it can be reduced down to a science, right? In fact, I'm thinking now, of course, of Wallace Wattles' Science of Getting Rich, which is one of the books that I've been studying for 20 something years and keep getting more and more out of. But one of the things that he said, just to give you a quick excerpt, and we've excerpted this before, is that to think truth is laborious. To listen to the words. To think truth is laborious and requires the expenditure of more energy than any other work man is capable of. This is especially so when truth is contrary to appearances. What does that statement mean? So it takes energy, right? It's work to think, right? To induce thought and to not just succumb to and go into agreement with appearances. To think truth. What is the truth? The truth is you're going to reach your goals. The truth is you're a powerful being. The truth is you are able, you have dominion. That's the truth. Okay. To think that consistently, especially when it's contrary to appearances. What are the appearances? Here's the ink on the paper, or the lack of paper, or the red ink instead of the black ink on your bank statement, right? These are the appearances of what? Of circumstances based on the decisions you made yesterday. Are they cause or are they effect? Oh, that's effect. That's effect, right? To think truth is to remember that you're cause. These are the effects. These effects suck. I don't like these effects anymore, which is why I'm causing change in my life. Thank you, right? So now how can I be bigger than these circumstances? How can I cause those to change? And so we're going to have to get a little bit magical here. A little bit, let me say this, a little bit unreasonable. unreasonable, right? Because reason's limited. Reason's based on what we already know, right? And it's good and reasonable to not walk out in front of speeding traffic, right? That's good survival, right? You know, your body would be destroyed, and you can reason these things. This is very nice. All right, so let me not do that exceedingly stupid action because I can reason that it would be a wrong move. Bravo. Okay, but when it comes to you creating magic in your life, we're gonna have to go a bit past what you already know. We're gonna have to get a bit unreasonable. Unreasonable. George Bernard Shaw said, the reasonable man attempts to adapt himself to his environment. The unreasonable one persists in adapting the environment to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. Unreasonable. That's where we're going with this. And we can call that magic. But I'll tell you what, any magician, I met one the other day in the gym. I was in the gym and I was finishing up my workout, and there was this guy there sitting. He had set up a stand. He had coffee samples, right? This guy's a local magician. He does magical, illusion acts and whatever. And apparently the live magic show circuit is not as robust as it once was. And he's also a coffee enthusiast. And so he has searched the world for the magical blends of coffee, you see. And I got to sample his wares. And one of them, he said, here's my strongest brew. And it was called the Wired Rabbit, right? The rabbit's coming out of the hat, and he's all like this. And I was like, sign me up give me a pound of the rabbit. And he opened his bag and he sold me for like $17 or something for a pound of coffee, and which I gladly paid because it was really good stuff. In fact, it's in this cup right now. Wired Rabbit, baby, from Clay's Magical Coffee in Tucson, Arizona. He was up in the Phoenix area, I guess, bigger marketplace, of course. But the thing is that I got to support a local merchant. But I'm on a total tangent here. But this Clay, the magic guy, okay, is it magic to him when he pulls the rabbit out of the hat or whatever the illusion is? No, there's actual procedures and scientifically observable, quantifiable things that happen to cause that illusion to occur. So there's no magic. Okay, so what do we got to do to affect change in the area of money? We've got to shift our perspective. We're going to have to get a little bit beyond what we consider reasonable, and we're going to have to take a look at, all right, well, if I'm cause and the money is effect, how do I attract more of it to me? Back to Wattles and the science of getting rich, because there's a science of that too. It's not magical, okay? We've got to think truth regardless of appearances. I don't care what it says on your bank statement. From this moment forward, you fully expect that you are attracting all the circumstances and resources necessary for the fulfillment of your goal. In that book, Wattles said, if you lack capital, you can get capital. And that's it. That's all the energy he gave it. If you lack capital, you can get capital. End of conversation. We're not going to give any energy to how much you lack or you think you don't have. Okay? People get capital all the time. People in third world countries get capital. They get creative. They make magic happen. Okay. And look, stranger things have happened too. I've had people say that, I'm not able to participate because of this and that circumstance. And then like a couple of days later, they call me back. You'll never believe what happened. Oh, really? Tell me your story. And the gods smiled upon them and bequeathed unto them the wonders that have befallen them with the money, the riches, the resources, the whatever it happened to be. Wouldn't you know it, John? How serendipitous. How amazing that it all worked out. No, not amazing. Not amazing. I'll tell you what's amazing. What's amazing is that we're able to screw it up so often, that we're able to stop the flow so often, because success is the natural state of life. We screw it up and we're awesome at it. Professionals. Me, I'm a professional at doing that. So we just got to get out of the way a lot of times. That doesn't mean it's going to be an easy walk in the park or something, but it definitely means that you can't stay comfortable. You can't stay the person you were yesterday and reach your goals today and tomorrow. You will be sort of reborn, if you will. You'll put on a new identity with that, and one that may not seem reasonable to you now. And you will walk through that terror barrier. You will walk through fire, and you will become cause over your circumstances to a higher and higher degree. I'm still working on it, by the way. It's been some decades. I haven't arrived. Okay. I'm still working on this. Okay. But here comes like the magic part of this. And here's one way that you can actually do it. Let's say that right now you have a goal. And hopefully you do, because man who shoots at nothing is sure to hit it. All right. So you've got a goal and you know what that goal is and you're not vague about it. All right. Thank you. Okay. How does it feel now that you've reached that goal? I know you don't have the money in your hand yet or the Lamborghini in the driveway or whatever you want. Right. But how does it feel assuming you did? So now you're not shocked or surprised when the money and the Lamborghini show up. It's expected. It's not, oh, I'm so amazed. No, I'm not freaking amazed. It's like deja vu. Like I've been doing this the whole time. You become that person now. You feel the feelings now. What if your spouse or some significant other said to you, great news, honey, we just won the lottery. I'll see you when you get home. We can cash the check, right? Do you have a certain emotion that comes up right now? Maybe, a feeling of elation or carefreeness, confidence, the feeling of a bit of swagger in your step. Okay. You get home and they say, oh, April Fools, we didn't really win the lottery. But the rest of your day with that swagger in your step and that emotional state, was that real? That was real emotion. That was real feelings. You were really being that person. Okay. Why? Because of some communication, which, just like what is money? It's a communication. It's like, here's a means of exchange. This is worth this. That's worth that. It's all communication. Okay. Can you induce some self-communication? Can you use a thing called inductive reasoning to induce for yourself an emotional state as if the goal is a guaranteed future outcome? Of course you can. It's work. It's thinking truth contrary to appearances. It's the hardest work in the world. How bad do you want it? And here's what's going to happen. If you want it bad enough, you're going to start treating this, not only your own investment in your business, but your mind, your investment in yourself, and the thoughts that you allow yourself to entertain. You're going to start becoming very guarded about that, shutting yourself off against any negative influences that could take you off course. I see only the objective. The obstacles must give way. It's actually a quote from Napoleon Bonaparte. He wasn't a very moral guy, but he sure knew how to get stuff done. Okay. So I see only my objective. Okay. Any suggestions to the contrary, any of this, no, you got to get out of the way now because I've got intent, right? And I know I'm going to reach it. And what else is going to happen? You're going to find that you start to attract not only more congenial circumstances, but you're also going to buy less of your own excuses. Imagine that you just put $500,000 on the table. Okay, everyone, hit the reset button right now. Low-hanging system. Welcome, everyone. 500,000, please. 500,000. Thank you, Jan. 500,000. Susan, thank you. Michael, thanks for the 500,000. Gabe, welcome in. Thank you for the 500,000. You all just put $500,000, pounds, whatever, on the table. And if that number's not big enough for you, make it $1 million. Okay, because the price just went up. Now, how are you going to treat the business? You just put it on the table. No refunds, by the way. You're in now. You're in. How are you going to treat this business? Now, I know none of you actually put that money on the table. One of the beautiful things about the methods that Rachel has presented to you is that they're much more accessible than the $500,000, franchise, or the people running FBA right now and trying to source products from India, Vietnam, China, and everything else, and dealing with customs problems and bills of lading and shipping, and the product is moldy when it shows up, and oh, we lost a batch. Tens of thousands of dollars later. So you didn't put 500 grand on the table, but what if you did? How would you behave? And what negativity what negativity would you allow yourself when it comes to you reaching your goals now, fulfilling the purpose of the reason you got started in the first place? How many excuses would you buy, others or yourself or your own, right? Here's where magic happens. You start being that person now. I don't care what the price tag was. Be that person now. Raise your necessity level to the point where, no, damn it, I will not be denied. This has to work. Says me. This has to work. Here I come. I'm the future of this deal. Says me. Me meaning you, okay? Completely different experience. Completely different. There's no more I'll try or any of this milk toast nonsense. Poppycock, right? I love that word. We need to use that word more often, Susan. Poppycock. We're going to get this done now. And it's no surprise to us when we do. It's not like, oh, I'm so amazed I succeeded. No, of course I succeeded. What else am I here to do? Right? Let's raise the bar again. There's the magic. There's the magic right there. There's nothing mysterious about this. But my goodness, you can't half step your way into this. try and, all this stuff that people talk to themselves about. Of course, I get to hear it a lot because I get to interact with lots of people on a daily basis. You guys know I'm not an e-commerce expert. I'm a people and entrepreneurship expert. So I get to hear it. I get to hear what's actually going on in the minds of people, regardless of the words that are coming out of their mouth, because I've just been doing this for so long. And the good news is that because you're all in this conversation, you're picking up stuff that you may not even know just through osmosis. You're picking up stuff right now, ways of being, thinking, and behaving that will have made me millions. And I'm fully intending will make you millions. If that's what you want, right? Some of you aren't aiming, into the seven figures. Even a six-figure income at this point would be a marked improvement. Well, fine, let's start there. If that's real for you, then that's real for you. Let's make that, but let's make it real now. Not a hope. Not I'll try. No. We're going to get this done. Says you. And that's what's coming up for me today. And I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. If you would like to, unless I've put you all to sleep, I guess that's a possibility as well. So who would like to speak? Come on out. We got Michael up first and then Gabe. Hey, Michael, what's going on, brother?
Well, it's been a great day because here we are.
Yeah.
One of the things that you mentioned about putting the $1 million on the table, a lot of us don't have that perspective as to what's $1 million, what's $500,000. However, when we put it in perspective, I think Mark brought it up. When we don't have $1,500 and that's what it takes to get our success, we get pretty creative through our desperation, and we get pretty inspired to make things happen to bridge that. And when we realize, listen, we may have borrowed that money from our mom or dad or friend or whatever else, the incentive to get that back to them and to be successful is a lot higher, and it creates a lot more drive. Kind of like what you're saying. It's like it's what's it going to take? How are you going to take it seriously? Well, when you come from that place of desperation, it's surprising how much you can dig down and create and make happen and manifest. And that's some of the things you were saying. Shift happens. So we have a lot of that happening when we put our desperation in front of us and just say, listen, we there is no I'm not going to make it, or there's no success ahead of me. It's like, no, that is not an option anymore. Like the whole Star Trek thing, with God, hey, I'm in the middle of a planet. How do I get out of here?
Yeah.
He figured it out.
Well, and if that, Susan, I'm going to mute your mic real quick. You got a little background noise there. And I think desperation sounds desperate. I don't like sounding desperate or feeling desperate. So if that word works for you, that's fine and valid. I know it's more inspirational to move toward what I want than just out of what I don't want, but I'll take whatever motivators I need to raise my necessity level and get out of the crap if that's where I'm at right now. So nothing vague about that. Vague doesn't get anything done. If it's definitely, wow, this sucks. Okay. All right. Sell me that then. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right? I get where you're going with it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. All right. We've got, we're going to bring Gabe out here. Before we do that, I just remembered, I wanted to share this with everyone. Gabe, so hold that thought real quick. Let me share my screen. This I just got from some of our staff members here in the low-hanging system. Let me show you what we got here. I got a little gift. And so just to bring up the joy of work, this is called a man crate. I don't know if anybody knows what this is. I've never had one of these before, but it comes in an ammo can, and can you see this? Custom John Lavinia cups and a bottle opener with a 50 caliber. And they were thanking me for look, I got meat sticks there. I can eat the meats, right? Look at this. My goodness. So this is part of the joy of work. Part of, actually committing to, by the way, this has to do with all that we're doing here. This is from a bunch of the people who get to work with us behind the scenes, and all for your benefit, right? So you guys know there's a whole staff of people here that are putting this together. I'm obviously one of them. And so they are acknowledging all the work that's happening here. So thank you all for being a part of that. Just thought I'd share with you what's going on behind the scenes here is beautiful. And so we acknowledge all that. Gabe, you've got the floor, sir.
I just thank you. It was really good. really good. Spoke to me a lot. Anyway, got a lot of work to do, so it was really good. Anyway, I just appreciate it.
I
Anyway,
appreciate you, man. And you know what? You are so able. I know who you are. Yeah, Gabe, you can do this. You can do it big. So glad you're here, brother. Glad you're here. And I'm looking a little gray now that I see you. So it's probably time for a cut and color. I would do the beard and mustache too, but it's too obvious. It's like bam, there's a dark brown beard, So I just kind of leave that kind of gray. Good to see you, Gabe. Missy's got the floor. Hey, Missy.
I just want to say quickly, I love Michael, but I don't like the desperation. I mean, I've been there and that's what got me here. But a lot of my heroes are military heroes from the past. And if you just watch the movie Patton, you don't have to like George S. Patton Jr., but George Washington, Bill Donovan, a lot of these men, they had to do without. It was magic. It appeared to be magic, but it wasn't. It was doing out of necessity, and that is what we are doing. This is Holbor. It is burning the bridge. That is one of the greatest metaphors you've ever told us. It's fantastic. It feels fantastic to burn the bridge. And I just wanted to say that, and those military heroes help keep me on track as well. So that's my 2 cents for the day. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And yeah, our choice of words is yeah. So thank you for Michael for that idea, and what words work for each of us, right? So clearly we're building our own enthusiasm for our own guaranteed future outcomes. This is beautiful stuff. Joe, what do you think? We got Joe Regis here. Hey, Joe.
Hi.
Hey.
Hope everyone is good today. It's
Yeah.
I'm in London, so it's in the evening.
Yep.
I just wanted to say a huge thank you. I've been wanting to speak for probably a couple of weeks and just have not made myself. But I'm so thankful for these sessions. I mean, every time I come on, yesterday, today, my mind is blown, and I feel like I can take in quite a lot of philosophical information, but my mind gets blown. I've been devouring the Miracle Morning, and really, this has been something I really need. It's more than just the business. I do need to change myself, and these sessions, the Miracle Morning, what I've done so far, it's definitely making me start to think differently. You were saying today about becoming the cause. That's what I need. But I need to become that person who can do the business. So at the moment, yes, I'm running through the course, but I'm very much working a lot on becoming that person who will be successful, because I have, like other people have said, kind of taken up other opportunities because it seemed really good and it was interesting, and you get the sales pitch, and it's not a sales pitch, because a lot of the time opportunities are good, but if you're not the person that can deliver on that, then you're just never gonna deliver. And so I'm working very much on being the person who can deliver on this opportunity, and I'm so thankful for these sessions. I never dreamed that this would be part of the program in any way, shape, or form. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Joe. And thank you for the validation and the acknowledgement. Yeah, there's a bigger game afoot here, right? This isn't just about your coffee cups. It's about you. So glad you're here, my friend. All right. Anybody else today before we wrap up? Feel free to chime in. Wow, we're going to wrap up in just a half hour. Look at that. That just happened, you guys. Let's the Jedi must end. Is that what that says, Michael?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That was so appropriate. You brought up Star Trek, and I'm wearing this shirt.
Oh, right. Well, that's Star Wars, though, right? I mean, yeah.
Don't get it mixed up.
Yeah.
No.
can't-
That's like I was saying. That's kind of appropriate for your intro. It's like
Right.
I must
Good
end.
stuff. Hey, Kelly, we're not ending yet because Kelly's got her hand up. Hey, Kelly, what's going on?
I do. There's time. I just wanted to share a little something from my meditation this morning. And I was thinking about what you talked about yesterday, those leverage points, right? And then, but I was looking at it almost an upside down way. And I was thinking about areas of life where I felt a sense of defeat. And we often retreat when we feel a defeat, right? Like failure, perceived failure, that sort of thing. And so in my meditation, it was just to look at not necessarily feeling defeated, but looking at those places where I might have stepped back, and instead of retreating or looking at it as a failure, just pivot. Like if you just pivot, and substituting that word pivot gets me more into the leverage. So instead of like stopping or retreating or getting stuck, just pivot. Because if you pivot, you can maintain that forward momentum, right? You might change direction, but you keep that momentum. You can keep going. You don't have to come to a full stop or go backwards. And so it was something that Missy said that triggered me. It's that for me, that kind of idea of like burning the ships is a little bit, doesn't work so good for me, because I come from a healthcare background, and I've worked with a lot of life and death situations. It's like, oh, that one's too dramatic for me. I like to be able to keep a little something in the background. So instead of burn the ships, in my mind, it's like, just pivot. Just take those places, or going forward. If you're like really stuck and everything's an obstacle, oh, I just need to pivot. That's how I'm going to get around. I keep all my momentum and I just pivot and go this way around it. So that's my little
beautiful
for today. Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
Oh no, I started a whole conversation.
Yeah, we got 3 more hands up. Let me just offer one clarifier. When Hernando Cortez scuttled his own ships, it was because they were going forward and would pivot and do whatever was necessary to reach their objective. The ships, the scuttling of the ships was no turning back. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's true. I know. I just read that in Napoleon Hill's book, and I can't do the burn. It's a little too dramatic for me, but
good. But glad you're here. You know what I like to think about, and I'm going to go to Helga and then Denise and then Darla. I like to think about water. So water going downhill confronts an obstacle, a rock, sticks, logs, or whatever, right? It goes up, around, over, under, right? So that could be like a pivoting sort of a thing. If you're like water, you just keep going, whatever the circumstances are, in a different direction, perhaps.
Yeah, like I ride horses. And so it's like you think of all that energy of your moving horse underneath you. If you come up with an obstacle, either the horse is going to jump over it, or you have to like change direction, change course, because you don't want to have to do a full halt and try to get going again.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, it's kind of anyway, pivot. That's my word for the day.
Very good.
We're pivoting.
We are pivoting. Hey, Helga, you've got the floor, my friend. Helga.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Wonderful. Hi, everyone. So in my miracle morning, I've also taken, that advice and just doing the quiet time, putting things, in place. One of the things that struck me is that I need to move, and I need to move fast. And it seems that, I'm in my way. So I want to ask, with your permission, in this group, can I ask for a group of accountability people who have passed this way and could probably help hold my hands and certain obstacles? Like I could reach out to them and say, hey, how did you get over this or get over that? Or do I need to only do that through my accountability person?
Where are you at in the accelerator process, Helga?
I've been doing mock-ups, and I've been using PicMonkey, and
No, I'm talking about the series of videos that Rachel and I and our staff prepared for you that your accountability rep should have gotten you through or is getting you through this week.
Okay, so I sent a text message to my accountability rep, and I didn't hear from him again. So
who is that?
Maybe I need to reach out to him again.
Who is that?
Oh my gosh, a very nice person. Denver.
Okay. I'm going to make sure Denver gets in touch with you today. All right. Because we're going to get you moving on all this. Great question. And yes, there are like subgroups and stuff that have, turned up with, we're going to do a little Facebook group or a WhatsApp chat or things like that. But there's actually an advanced group that I'm thinking you need to be a part of. We got to get you
Okay.
through the basics first.
Thank
Okay.
you.
And then we'll talk more about what that looks like, because there are people playing at a very high level here.
Mhm.
You know, some of them, they're in this room right now.
Oh, okay.
So just letting you know, you're brand new here. Keep coming, and more is about to be revealed. So get through that and
Thank
get
you.
with Denver today. All
Thank you
right.
very much.
You're so welcome, my friend. Who is ringing me right now? Don't they know I'm talking with my friends right here, including and especially Helga and Denise and Darla. Hey, Denise, come on out, my friend. Denise Jensen.
Hi,
There she
can you hear me?
is. We can't see you or your dog today, though. We were all so
I
delighted to see.
know,
Okay.
I know. I'm not in the mood to be seen today.
Oh,
It's one of those days for me. It's my pivoting, like Kelly said. I'm in the pivoting time. So I love, Kelly, I love that you said the pivoting, because that's been my life lately. You know, I have been going through some very serious medical issues in the last couple of years, but I have not given up. I just keep picking it up, and I go and I go and I go. I am not giving up. This is something that I insist on being successful at. And I may have days and weeks, and last year I had months where I could do nothing but be in bed. But this process, this business never was out of my mind. It was always in my mind. I was always doing something to move forward in it. Even if I was in bed every day and could not get out of bed, I was always thinking about it and thinking about how I could make it better and what I would do when I was able to do something more. So I was always pivoting. And I love that, Kelly. Thank you so much for that, because it really helped me feel better. It really helped me feel like because sometimes I really feel like a failure, even though what happens is not really my fault. It's not like I stop and say, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I literally physically cannot do it anymore. And so I thank you so much for that. It really helped me feel better about the process and everything. And Kelly, where do you live? Where does Kelly live?
Earth.
Hi, Denise.
Yeah.
I live in Canada.
Hi, where do you live?
I live in Canada. I'm in Winnipeg, right in the middle of Canada, right in the middle of
Oh,
North America.
okay. Okay, do you have a Facebook account?
Not very
No.
often, but yeah, you could.
I want to be your friend. I love you.
Just
Just
pop something in the
amazing and
message here. I'll find
wonderful.
you in here.
You're
Oh, you're
very
so sweet.
uplifting and energetic and wonderful. You
Oh,
are.
she's sweet. Thank you so much. I'll
So,
just tell you real quick. I've had an 8-year chronic relapsing health condition, so I had to learn the
oh,
pivot lessons the
I'm
hard way.
sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so much better now.
Oh,
But
good.
yeah,
Good. I'm
lessons
glad.
truly learned through the
Yeah.
challenges of life. But
Yeah.
bless you in
It
your
is.
journey, because you're going to make it. It's just a
Thank
nice
you.
reframe, the idea of pivoting, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Just pop a little something. And hi, Michael. You lived in Winnipeg too, but this is not the Kelly Show. So I'm going to sign off here, and I'll find you on here, Denise.
Awesome. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Kelly. So there we go. It's happening right before our eyes. We got Darla, and then Iris is going to speak, and then I think we're going to wrap up. Hi, Darla. Let's get you out here. Darla, unmute your
Hold on.
microphone. Oh, I just at the moment that I clicked S to unmute, you unmuted and I muted you.
Here.
Sorry about that.
There we go. Is that
All right.
good?
Good.
Okay. I wanted to piggyback kind of on what Kelly was saying and what you had mentioned about the water, because something dawned on me the past couple of days. This has been a better week, getting progress made. But I think I had kind of a shift in my perspective on things, because, you know, we tend to go back to, we run into a roadblock, you know, trying to post my first product or whatever. And everything I was trying was roadblock, and feeling stuck. and thinking if I make a mistake, I'm going to have to go back and fix it. And I had a complete mental shift there because of kind of that concept that going back and being stuck are an illusion. We're always moving forward. Even when we're not working on this, that's a choice and we're moving forward in a different direction. So to Kelly's point, we have to pivot back towards this and be conscious of the choices that we're making instead of the last couple of weeks, because of feeling stuck and being afraid of making a mistake and doing it wrong and having to go back and make corrections. I was not consciously choosing to come back and work on this and do the posting or work on the products or whatever. And so I got to the point where this week came along and I was like, okay, I just have to do something, even if it's wrong. That was my mom saying, do something, even if it's wrong, just do it. Start chipping away at the mountain. And so I did. And sure enough, I started making progress again. It's not the kind of progress I would like to see because I'm still running into issues with little things that, are not the same as the videos, which is nobody's fault. I mean, you could make a video right now about how to integrate GearBubble with Amazon and post the video, and tomorrow you'd have to remake it because they would change all the screens. So it's just the nature of the beast. But it's just, there is no actual going back. If you make the mistake and it's not showing the way you want it to show on the page, you're still moving forward. And as long as you're moving forward, you're making progress. So there's just, it's just a mind shift, a different perspective instead of, it's that course correction idea. You're not doing it wrong. The only way you're making, I guess everything is a conscious decision to some degree, because if you stop working on the business, then you're choosing to put your energy someplace else. And so I had to consciously push myself back to doing this and pivot back to this. Like water, you're always moving forward. It's just a matter of what direction. You don't have to go back to correct mistakes. You correct the mistake and keep moving.
Right. Well, I've heard it said that the only way to fail is to quit. And to your point, as far as the ever-changing nature of technology, I mean, you could always grab a screenshot, send it into help@lowhangingecom.com and say, hey, I could use a clarification or this, this video. And yeah, you're an important part of that too. So you're in the trenches doing it. I'll tell you what, so many times I've recorded instructional videos and then they change the user interface. Oh, so just part of working online. Thank you, Darla.
And you didn't get a puppy before, so here's a puppy for you.
Yay, how you doing, buddy?
That's Obi.
Thank you. I saw Iris, and now Iris is gone, and now I see Susan. Iris, were you going to say something? Iris?
Hi, John.
Hey, there she is.
Hi, John. I'm just in the vehicle today. I just wanted to thank everyone for the concepts of, and yourself too, for the concepts of financial concepts and perspective on finances, as well as the understanding of pivoting too. But I just wanted to introduce everybody to Raphael, but he's getting a little bit crazy in the car, but here's Raphael.
Hi, Raphael. Oh my goodness. What a sweetie. Yeah. Is that American Bulldog? What is that?
That's English Bulldog.
English Bulldog.
Yes.
There he is. Thank you, Iris. Good to meet you,
Thank
Raphael. All right. All right, let's wrap up with Susan, and then we really are going to wrap up. Hi, Susan. What's going on with you?
Hello. Good morning, afternoon, evening. So what I'm listening to the stories and I'm like, oh my God, that's me. Yeah, that's me too. Oh yeah, I got that. And the one thing I still struggle with, and I know I have to pivot and have to rethink, but the philosophy is, throw spaghetti at the wall, whatever sticks, that's what works. But then there's also the work smarter, not harder. Like I don't feel like we should be throwing a whole bunch of mugs, if you will, out into the universe, because at some point crap gets crap. So going back and fixing, I've done a lot of that in the last 48 hours, and it's frustrating, to be honest. However, it's also, I'm fighting the whole spaghetti against the wall versus go back and fix and make updates with new, like I learned something new, so go back and update it. And that's, I don't know if anyone else is struggling with that, but right now that's where I've been for the past 3 days.
Okay, so there are different degrees of struggling or frustration, and I think that the fact that you've identified there's ways to work smarter is smart, right? That's good. But how do we assess that? We assess that based on things we've already done. We can't steer a parked car. So at the outset, sure, you're throwing stuff against the wall. Because imperfect and done beats perfect and not done. And the reason why it beats it is because now we can assess what works and what doesn't, do more of what works and less of what doesn't. So it almost seems like that's the simplicity of it. But when you're in the thick of it, right, and when it's not yet bearing fruit, it kind of seems frustrating, or however you're experiencing that. I'll tell you what, we need to talk about that some more. Maybe we could take that up tomorrow, Susan, because this is just the growing pains of really getting into any business. The good news is that we're not throwing hundreds of thousands of dollars every time we take a swing. Some people do in other business models. All right. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yep. Okay. I guess we're good. Yeah. Are we good, Susan? You're welcome. You're welcome. You're awesome. We'll get back together tomorrow, everyone. In the meantime, I will see you all. Some of you I'm meeting with today in business sessions. I do have I just sounded the alarm for some of you who are lacking interaction with your representatives here, who should be getting you moving along. So we'll make sure that happens as well. I will look forward to seeing you all again here tomorrow. Great conversation today. And let's pivot, right? That's the word of the day, right, Kelly? Let's pivot. Let's do it. I will see you.